22 finale recap at the beginning of the episode. The team discovers that double agent Gabriel LaRoche, NCIS Deputy Director, has been recruited by the Department of Justice to infiltrate the Nexus gang. To do so, he endangers Agent Nick Torres by revealing his secret identity, putting him in a dangerous position. However, Agent Timothy McGee manages to uncover LaRoche's plot, unraveling the DOJ's plan. The events then reveal that Carla Marino, the Kansas City Mafia leader, is the true leader of the Nexus gang, known as the Butcher. In a heartbreaking scene, Marino kidnaps Agent Aldian Parker and takes him to a remote location where she kills his father in revenge for her son's death, leaving the team in a state of shock and deep grief. Meanwhile, Parker and McGee successfully deactivate a nuclear bomb that threatened innocent lives, using the password Jason to stop the countdown. Is Nick Torres dead? Despite the dangers Nick Torres faced in this episode, he was not killed. Wilma Valderrama's previous comments referring to the death of a significant character were in reference to the death of Agent Parker's father. Therefore, Nick Torres is still alive and is expected to continue in Season 23. Here's the first scene from the NCIS Season 22 finale. The episode about the double agent, Gabriel LaRoche, being exposed, in tedious scene-by-scene detail. Scene 1. Suspicions mount. Location: NCIS offices. Late at night. Lighting: dim. Atmosphere tense. Background music: a soft, dramatic melody. Scene 1.1. The camera pans slowly into the conference room. Charlie Stewart, data analyst, walks in, shocked. Charlie, Director Parker. You need to see this. I found something strange in LaRoche's communications. Scene 1.2. Parker quickly walks over to the table. The shot cuts to a computer screen displaying an encrypted communications log. Parker, angrily, these are encrypted conversations with a military source. How did they get through here? Scene 1.3. McGee and Nate enter the room after being summoned. Nate: we're not talking about a spy. This is the Deputy Director himself. Scene 1.4. A heated confrontation. The scene shifts to LaRoche's office. The team storms in, and LaRoche sits quietly reading a file. Parker: Gabriel, I need you to explain these conversations to me immediately. LaRoche, very calm: I don't have to explain anything to you. Everything I did was ordered by the Department of Defense. Scene 1.5. The explosion. Nate screams, you blew Nick's cover? He was going to die. LaRoche sighs, I had to sacrifice someone to gain their trust. Nexus doesn't go in easily. McGee tries to hit him, but Parker stops him. Scene 1.6. The shocking departure. LaRoche pulls out his NCIS badge and places it on the table. LaRoche: I resigned. You can't reach me. And most importantly, I'm the only one who knows Carla Marino's true face. He quietly leaves the office, leaving the team stunned. The camera zooms in on Parker's face, who whispers, we're entering a nightmare. Scene 2. The Enemy Among Us. Location: a temporary secret NCIS base in an abandoned industrial area. Lighting: dim, flickering fluorescent lights. The atmosphere is very tense. Scene 2.1. Carla Marino enters the base accompanied by two of her agents, smartly dressed despite the warlike atmosphere. Her face is calm, but her eyes are sharp. Parker: cold. We don't usually host mafia bosses. What brings you here? Carla, smiling. It's not every day that you get a gift delivered on a golden platter. I have names, locations, and everything about Nexus, but you have to trust me. Scene 2.2. Suspicion within the team. Nate, whispering to McGee, she's not cooperating. She's playing a bigger game with us. McGee, nervous. Or worse, maybe she's Nexus herself. Carla notices the exchange of glances and says coldly, I know you're not confident. But what I'm about to tell you will turn the world upside down. Scene 2.3. The information she shows them a satellite image of an abandoned port in Cuba, with dates for shipments containing uranium. Carla, this is the shipment they were preparing. If we let them, the world will wake up to a nuclear catastrophe. Parker asks, why are you helping us? Carla, lowering her voice, because I lost my son to them, and it's time for me to get justice. Scene 2.4. Double betrayal. The scene cuts abruptly to a dark place, a locked room in an unknown location. A man appears, bound and severely beaten, who turns out to be Parker's father. A woman's voice, Carla's, is heard on a recorder. My son was killed by Parker. Justice must be done. We discover that Carla is lying to the team, that she is the true leader of the Nexus, and that she is planning cold-blooded revenge on Parker by killing his father. Would you like me to complete? 1. The scene where the team discovers that Carla is the butcher. 2. Or the scenes where the nuclear bomb is defused. 3. Or the dramatic final scene after Parker's father's death. Scene 3. Revealing the true face, location, NCIS operations room, dim blue lighting, tension and pressure. Time, 18 hours after their encounter with Carla Marino. Scene 3.1. The surprise analysis. McGee is working on NCIS's voice analysis servers. He's running a voice match to an old recorded message from the Butcher, the mysterious cartel leader. McGee whispers to himself, it's not possible. Nate hears him and walks over to him. You found something? McGee, looking up at her. The voice is 94%. A match to Carla Marino. Nate, shocked. So we were hosting the most dangerous woman in the world. Inside our station. Scene 3.2. The emergency call. Parker, on his way to temporarily leave the base, receives a call from McGee. McGee's voice on the speaker, come back now. Marino is the butcher. Parker freezes, whispering, oh my god. Scene 3.3. The critical moment. The team rushes to search for Carla inside the base. But she's already gone. A shot of her empty chair in the conference room. On the table, a red envelope labeled with the words, Parker, eye for an eye, in handwriting. The envelope is opened, and they find a photo of Parker's father, bound and hooded. Scene 3.4. Double whammy. Nate, angrily, she was right in front of us the whole time, and we believed her tears. Parker, in a low voice, this was all an act. An elaborate plan to confuse us and gather intelligence. A tech guy appears. There's a weak GPS signal coming from the chip we had in her bracelet, but she's escaping across the sea. McGee, this isn't an escape. This is the beginning of a war. Scene 4. A race against time. Location, an abandoned warehouse on the coast, surrounded by rusty containers. Time, after midnight, 12 minutes before the bomb is to detonate. Atmosphere, deadly tension, silent except for the sound of light rain. Scene 4.1. Arriving at the site, the team storms the warehouse, led by Parker, McGee, Knight, and Torres. Inside the warehouse, red lights flash, and there's a nuclear bomb covered in LED panels, connected to a countdown timer. 11:43. 11:42. Parker, nervously. That's enriched uranium. If it explodes, it'll wipe out half the East Coast. Scene 4.2. The bomb refuses to obey. McGee begins trying to hack the system via his laptop. Torres covers the area with weapons, and Knight inspects the bomb's surroundings. McGee, a minute later. Every password we try makes the timer go faster. This isn't just a bomb. This is a psychological ambush. Scene 4.3. Coded message. Suddenly, the bomb plays an old voice recording. The voice of Parker's kidnapped father. He says, "My son." The kill code isn't in the numbers. It's in you. Everyone freezes. Parker, whispering, "In me." He remembers a moment from his childhood. His father called him Jason, a name no one else used. Scene 4.4. The defining moment. The countdown reaches 0:58. 0:57. Parker steps forward, ignores McGee, and kneels at the keyboard. He types a single word. Jason, a moment of silence. The countdown stops at 0:03. The lights begin to dim, and a chilly air drifts through the room as if he's been rescued from the apocalypse. Scene 4.5. The shock still happens. Parker looks at the team. That wasn't just a nuclear threat. That was a personal message. Nate. In a low voice, Marino played on our nerves. And I lost, but that loss isn't enough. Scene 5. An unforgivable goodbye. Location. A dark, underground concrete room. Coordinates unknown. Lighting. Very dim. A single lamp dangling from the ceiling swaying. Time. Moments after the bomb is defused. Scene 5.1. The camera is on the old man's face. Parker's father, retired General Frank Parker, is bound hand and foot, with bruises on his face. His breathing is labored, but he remains composed. The sound of high-heeled footsteps approaches. Carla Marino appears in a leather jacket, holding a cup of tea, with sadistic calm. Scene 5.2. The confrontation. Carla sits in front of him. All this to protect your son? If only you taught him not to interfere in the affairs of adults. Frank. In a weak voice, I know. You could have forgiven him, but you chose war. Carla laughs quietly. Oh, this isn't a war. This is an ending, and I like tragic endings. Scene 5.3. The fatal moment. Carla pulls a gun from her jacket. She slowly draws it out, places it on the table, and wipes the trigger with her handkerchief as if offering a ritual. She leans closer and whispers, "Say your goodbyes, General." Frank looks at her steadily, his voice crackling. "My son will stop you, and he may die trying. But he will stop you." A single shot is fired. The camera doesn't show the gunfire directly, but instead pans outside, where we hear the echo in the void. Scene 5.4. The symbolic end. A quick shot shows Parker in the NCIS office receiving a coded call. A mute expression crosses his face. The shot slows as his father's voice echoes in his mind. "I've always seen you as a hero, even if the world doesn't." The camera slowly pulls back, showing Parker standing in the darkness of his office as rain falls on the window. A black screen appears. Reading, "Greater than, to protect and to lose. That is the cost of the badge."